Okay, this is piece 237, Pisupo, and it is translated as corned beef, which is how the artist refers to it too. So the form of this is that this is a life-size three-dimensional bowl. It's made from flattened, recycled, and then riveted corned beef cans. It's standing, it looks at the viewer, and initially you would see it perhaps as kind of a playful joke. But the function of this piece is that it makes a commentary on the impact of global trade on the Pacific Islands, on their culture, on their health, and on the environment. So contextually, I don't know if you know what corned beef is, but this is a tin of corned beef, and it is taken into the Pacific Islands, and the Pacific Islanders traditionally ate fresh fruit, fresh fish, and coconut milk. But this canned food arriving in the Pacific has changed their diet. The first canned food to arrive was canned pea soup, and that's where the name Pisupo comes from. In the Samoan language, there's always a vowel at the end of a word, and so the O was added to Pisupo. And over time, all canned goods became known as Pisupo. So in terms of content, this piece is not so much joyful, it's more questioning some concerns. First of all, we have health concerns, and then we have environmental concerns. In terms of health concerns, obesity in the Pacific Islands, varying from island to island, but is 40% at least, and on some islands up to 90%. And these, according to the World Health Organization, are some of the highest levels of obesity in the world. There are also micronutrient deficiencies. For example, 20% of children are anemic on the Pacific Islands. And then environmental concerns as a content piece here for the artist, Tuffrey, is that raising cattle on the islands has had a significant impact on the environment, on plants, streams, and landscapes. For example, cows consume more fresh water on an island than human beings do. There is an eradication, of trees on an island so that the cows can forage. Additionally, tin cans are a waste issue. There's not much square footage on an island, so what do you do with all the waste, the unnatural waste? And then there are cultural concerns. Pisupo is given at weddings as a gift instead of what would be traditional, tapa cloth and mats, for example. And then just the metal that's being brought in is replacing native arts like woven bags and carved containers. So you can see here through these stickers, coffee cups, art cards, and t-shirts that Pisupo has really been ingrained in the culture now. Context. The artist, Michael Tuffrey, has this broader concern. I mean, there's lots of concerns being brought up here. Another one, though, is food sovereignty or food security. And food sovereignty is the right of a nation to determine what food is being produced, who is producing it, how it's being made. And the Pacific Islanders are they're quite at a disadvantage about this. And so their foods are being imported from other countries. For example, a lot of canned goods come from China, where there's not the same standard of marking about calories and nutrients on all cans of food from all companies. And so the Pacific Islanders are at their mercy. Finally, context here. Not only does Michael Tuffrey create art featuring canned corn tins, canned what am I saying? Corned beef tins. He also creates art out of fish tins. So fish that's been brought in tins, he uses that scrap metal to make these fish. And he's protesting here drift net fishing, which biologists would agree has been eradicating the fish populations around the Pacific Islands. And as a sculptor, as an artist, Tuffrey is really branching out into other mixed media forms. Like, for example, uh, the fish here, the sculpture is also a smoker. So he puts it in when he displays it, he can smoke fish inside this sculpture as a way to really reach all the sensory inputs of the community that's coming in to see his art. And I'm going to show you in class a video where he's really transformed the corned beef sculptures and taken them outside the gallery to really communicate his messages to the community. So this is Michael Tuffrey, and the art is Corned Beef 2000.